Hello and welcome to this October's preservation workshop presented by the staff of the Richardson-Sloane Special Collections Center of the Davenport Public Library. My name is Catherine Whalen, and today I will be showing you how to make a book pillow. Book pillows are a form of support that has a wide range of flexibility. So it can be used with the typical codex or the monograph that we think of. It can be used to support 3D objects as well. It's not typically used when viewing photographs or film and things like that, but it's typically something that's not just a 2D object, but a 3D object that needs support in some way. And so today I'll be showing you how to make a pretty simple book pillow that hopefully whatever archive or institution or organization or society that you're with, or even just doing it at the personal level, you'll be able to make these at home with the materials that I'm going to be showcasing today. So this book pillow is supporting our Scott County Heritage book. It can kind of be used in a different way. It can kind of open the book just gently and where the book naturally wants to open at. And so that's the main purpose of the book pillow. It's to support the use of the book without cracking the spine. They can be used for books with fragile spines or fragile binding, or really tight binding as well. So if you have a book that you can barely open, book pillows can help support the book while you're trying to open and view those pages. And so other ways that you can use a book pillow is, say, if you want to look at the first few pages of this book, you can maneuver the pillow and move the stuffing to one side. It's quite crinkly, but you can use that, and then you can say, if you want to just use the first few pages, you can use that thinner side and then use that other side to prop open the book and help support the side that doesn't have as much of the text block over here. So there's a variety of ways that you can use the pillow. This pillow is quite large. It is 18 by 34, I believe, or 32. Tyvek pillow, and so we'll be using those, but you can use any envelope size to accommodate any size of book. So you can use so this one might be really nice for our large ledger books too. So you could have two pillows next to each other and have them support the pages with something in the center, but we also can support these kind of smaller books on this pillow as well. So we'll set this aside for right now. So we have a couple different fillers that we'll be using today. So we have a Fiberfill, that's your kind of basic stuffing and filling for a variety of craft projects. And then we also have the polystyrene beans. And so those are typically used in bean bag filler. And so we'll be using both of those, and you can kind of see the differences. So this book pillow that we have here, this has the polystyrene beads in it. And so you can really be able to shift the beans. And I kind of filled it a little full. So it's very poofy. And so you can really kind of move and maneuver the beans around to get them to a certain side. And so these should be really versatile for any format, setting and book in your collection. So these are perfect for archives, museums, personal libraries, libraries such as ours, things like that. And they can be good for viewing and using the materials, but they can also be a nice platform for exhibits and displays as well. So it can help the book stay open with the additional support of a book snake or a book weight. So you can use those for different purposes. So we'll just set this book back over here on its little pillow. So the materials that you'll need, Tyvek envelopes are really wonderful. You can get them at many places, and in different sizes as well. And so we had these on hand, and so these are 18 by 23 inch Tyvek envelopes, and so they have a sealed flap that we can use to seal the book pillow, and so it'll yield a large book pillow that can be used for a variety of books. So even if you make a big book pillow, you can still use smaller books on it. The problem is if you get a really large book, you can't necessarily use it on a smaller pillow. So we'll be using that. And then we'll also have our Fiberfill. So today we'll be just using the Polyfill Crafter's Choice, the dry polyester packing Fiberfill. And so this is just available at your local craft store. There are other ones available online if you're inclined to go online and buy that stuff. But you can find a lot of different companies. So I'm just using a basic polyester Fiberfill for this. And I did try the dry, but there's different varieties. It's just something inert that can be used for a long time. And I also, when I was looking for materials to fill my pillows with, I was looking at archival websites and supply stores that tell you what the pillows are filled with. So I was trying to match what they sell their pillows filled with. So then we also have the polystyrene beads. So this is our Polyfill beanbag filler. It's polystyrene, 100% styrene beads. So they're quite a lot of static in here, so they'll cling to you. So it's kind of fun when you're filling the bag. You can do it pretty gently and fill it however you like. And then there's another option. I'm not going to fill a pillow with this, but you can also fill it with the polypropylene poly pellets. These are weighted stuffing beans. So we used this last year for our book weights. And so depending on the size, I would say a smaller book pillow that is going to be used to hold maybe something a little bit more fragile or something like that, you can fill a pillow with this. You probably don't want a big pillow filled with that because it's going to become quite heavy. But you can test that out, and you can see last year's presentation on book weights, so you can kind of see, you can make different sizes of the book weights as well. So you can test that out as an experiment, and then you can let me know how it goes. So those are pretty much your three basic materials that you'll need. You'll also need some sort of cup to get the materials out of the bags and into your envelopes. And so I just have a little plastic cup that I'm using because it's not something that I'm being really scientific about. And so we'll get started. So you'll want to select your Tyvek envelope, and then I was trying to make sure that the entire envelope is kind of open for filling, so I kind of just shook it out, and so you can kind of see that all the corners are open, and so you'll be ready to fill it. And so what I try to do is, you don't want to fill it all the way full because then you won't be able to move the material around in the envelope to accommodate the book and how it wants to open, or where you want it to be opened at. And so I try and fill an envelope about halfway to 3/4 of the way full, and then test it out with a book pillow, or just kind of see what it looks like with my hands. And so I have already filled a couple pillows about halfway. And so we'll kind of start with the Fiberfill first. And so we have our envelope, and I have it stuffed with the stuffing, and I try to get it to be about 2.5 inches thick, so that it can support a pillow without being super flat, and there's enough stuffing in there to actually do what it's supposed to be doing. And then I try and fit it, push the fill into the corners, because we sometimes forget about the corners, but those are sometimes the best parts. But I just want to make sure that the pillow is uniform, and so that when we close it up, then we have enough filling to move around and accommodate the pillow. And so I'm just going to add one more little handful of Fiberfill, and I'll just show you how I put it in. So I grab a handful of the Fiberfill from the baggie, and what I like to do is just kind of start teasing apart the fibers of the polyester fill, and I try and do it within the envelope so that I'm not losing anything. And so I just tear it apart, making it more flexible for the future, and it fills a little bit more space than it's clumped up together. And you won't be able to do this once the envelope is sealed. So you kind of just go through that motion, you kind of stuff it in. I have about 3/4 of the way full, so it's a little bit fuller than halfway. And so I just kind of test it out, kind of close the envelope near where the seal's going to be, and then I try and maneuver the fluff and see, okay, this is going to probably work for my pillow. So then you just take off the plastic strip covering the seal, the glue seal. And so I would try and get the envelope close to where you're going to be sealing it. So it's flush. And then I would start with the seal from the center and then work my way out and pressing down firmly on both sides, so then nothing will come out. There's a variety of ways to do this. Making pillows, so there is a pillow online that is made by the MIT libraries and archives, and they use the air pillows that you get in packing materials, and so they use Tyvek envelopes as well, but then they pack it with the air pillows, and they just essentially seal 2 of the envelopes together and then fill the envelopes as needed, and so they can replace it. These are a little bit more permanent, and these are really large envelopes anyway, so if we had 2 of them, it would be quite large. And I would rather have the seal on the side so that the book pillow is like this. But either way works. This way, if you did that, if you had these 2 pillows connected at the ends, it might be nice for a larger ledger book that's more landscape or horizontally shaped than vertical, or the portrait style. But we are done with this pillow. It took about, I'd say like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much filling you use, how much you want to tease it apart, and how closely you want to kind of do the envelope sealing too. But you can see that, you know, we can be pretty rough with it. We can fold it and then kind of get it worked out that way. And there is some air in there, so you can get some of that out because it's not 100% sealed on the corners. There's still gaps. So if you want to get that air out, you can do that too. But we are done with the Fiberfill pillow. So that's this one. So we'll set that guy back there. And then we have our polystyrene beads. And so we have our envelope filled with our beans. And so they're just straight all in there. They're quite light, so it's kind of nice. So you can kind of test the beans out. Oh, they poof out too. So just be aware of that. If you want to have some like chip clips or binder clips that you have handy, you can clip that and then test it out. I don't have any handy, so, but that's one way to avoid the poofing of the beans. But I might just add one more little cup to this and then call it good, because I think we'll have enough in there. So I did it about the same amount as the other envelope. So just fill it up and then just dump it in. So you can get ready to close this up. It is nice to have a flat surface when you're filling your envelopes, because it does get kind of hard if you're just doing it on the couch or on the chair or someplace. If you're at an institution or an organization and you're doing this for your work, try and get a table ready for you and use that. So I just took off the seal and then just gently kind of get the beans in there and then try and seal the best you can. So starting at the center and then rubbing your way down on both sides, and then it's all sealed. And so you're ready. So the pillow can be maneuvered. So it's just like sitting on a beanbag chair. So you can really kind of maneuver. See, this side is kind of bigger, so you could have a book that you want to open for more from the back. So that's kind of a nice, gentle way to have the book open this way. So those are our book pillows. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can contact us at specialcollections@davenportlibrary.com. We would be happy to answer any of your questions. You can also play around with these pillows too. So you can get envelopes of different sizes. Tyvek is just really, really nice because it's really durable and sturdy. And it's also probably easy to just wipe down with a dry cloth and not really worry about too much transference of anything from this material to the items that you're viewing on them. It's also one of the sturdiest materials that you can make envelopes out of. So they can be quite expensive. So just kind of bear that in mind. And hopefully we'll give you some more other tricks and tips and different types of book supports that you can use in addition to this. But if you have these handy, or if you can get a hold of these, you can make a variety of pillows out of them. And you can also try out using the beans and the filler. I'm going to try that and see how that works and see what types of supports I can create with that. But you can also, if you do want to ever see any other pillows, we do have ones that we have purchased. So these are the smaller round polystyrene beads I can feel in the bag. And this is also covered with a pillowcase that you can wash. So this is not, I think it's from Archival Products or University Products. So you can just buy this rare book pillow. So these are nice, and this is a little bit smaller than the one that we have here. And then we also bought this just Tyvek pillow from, I believe it was Gaylord or University Products. And so this has like plastic or foam fill. It feels like it's all cut up, and so it's really movable. So you can try a lot of different stuff. I just wanted to try something that was a little bit more durable, and you want to try and find plastics that are stable and inert and that won't degrade or off gas onto your materials over time. Granted, your materials are probably not going to be living on the pillow for long amounts of time. So that those are some considerations that you can take in while you're making decisions on what types of pillows you want to make for your items. But thank you so much for joining us today. And look, we hope you join us next for our next preservation workshop in December. And thank you so much, and I hope you have fun making book pillows.